Alright guys, we are back. We're about ready to head into Lunatic Pandora and begin the endgame. Of course Selphie would know exactly what type of weaponry we have and the status of it at all times. Let's just fire like crazy. Selphie is just actually insane. The Ragnarok is just such a cool ship, even though it's completely ridiculous. I like the fact that we can do all of that and then still have the option to just leave. I assume we have to go down to like a docking area. Which maybe I'm wrong? Maybe talking to Selphie and telling her to take off was the correct choice? Although, take off implies that we're leaving. Here we go. Yes? Yes, okay. This should be our final battle with Fujin and Raijin. They do have some pretty good magic to draw from. We want this full life. And honestly, having 100 full life on everybody wouldn't be bad. Raijin doesn't have anything we actually need, so we are just gonna kill him. Even Renoa is putting in some serious physical damage now. So it seems like even though these guys have their doubts about what Cypher's doing, they're still loyal to Cypher. Like, we weren't able to pull him out of this. I mean, they let us go back in the garden fight, But we weren't able to help Cypher then, so they decided that they're just going to do what they can, stay by Cypher's side above all else. Okay. We're going to stock up on full life. Unfortunately, Quistis doesn't have any room. That's fine. It's fine. We'll have Quistis actually... We'll have Quistis just auto-attack her down, and then the rest of us will get full life. I can trade some full lives from Squall to Quistis later. And I'm not really looking at anything to Junction. I would like these for future bosses. I don't think any of them, until the final boss, are going to be as taxing as the ultimate weapon. I could have just cast Asuna. Oh well. Like, nothing we're going to fight until the final boss or the super secret optional boss is going to be as taxing as the ultimate weapon. But these full lives are going to come in handy. You just never know. Especially with the gimmicks of the final dungeon. Here's a question. Did I ever junction Eden to anyone? I did not. This would be really good to learn with Renoa. But it does have speed junction. I could finally junction something to Quistis for speed. That's interesting. Increasing your speed with also increases your evasion. What's everyone else's speed? 100. We would need haste, which we do not have. Oh, we do have haste. Okay. Okay. That's good enough. We're not going to min-max too much. We've already gained way too many levels that we didn't need. Is that Biggs and Wedge? It is! You know, good for them. If you don't enjoy your work, find something you enjoy. Well, I'm not sure where to go in this whole maze-like thing. I'm sure there's a bunch of draw points everywhere. But again, I feel like we're pretty good on magic. I think the fastest way to get to the boss is to just go to elevator 1 and keep to the left, like last time we were here. And remember last time we were here, there was this big robot that just tossed us out with like telekinesis or whatever. I haven't been very far. I don't need the save point. And we're going to have to deal with that before we make it any further. Not sure what this guy's deal is. We do have an opportunity to get Flare and the August if we don't have them already. What about left probe, Kurga Sona, Kurga Demi? I don't know. Let's just start. Ooh. Ultima. Alrighty. And we have these auras for a reason. That didn't do any damage at all. We gotta try to figure out what the gimmick of this boss is. Attacking the center seems to do the most. Or just limit break, and you're good. And even Fujin and Raijin, their patience can only wear so thin. They're still loyal to Cypher. They always have been. And that's the reason why they let us go fight him in Galbadia Garden. But they just can't stand by him anymore. Not when he's on this path. And Fujin actually speaks normally for the first time in the game. This is our final encounter with Cypher. And it was a short one. Odin's gonna come in here, mop him up, and we'll move on. Or not. So after this fight, you lose Odin for the rest of the game. But something else catches Odin's sword. Cypher has Aura, which we are going to spend a few turns drawing. I think this is the first reliable chance to get a bunch of auras you've gotten. Cypher isn't really a big deal. He has never done a whole lot of damage. But I will take this opportunity to comment. You see his coat, how it's in tatters almost? Like all the garbage he's gone through in the game, all the losses and all the struggles, it actually is represented on his character model, which I think is a nice touch. He's fighting tooth and nail for whatever he believes in, even if it's wrong. So I think this is enough aura. We have enough to beat the game now. And again, we're not looking to junction anything. We just want utility. I feel like I need to put GF back on Squall so I can cast Cerberus. If only for Cerberus. I've got these Fyras, and I don't really have anything to do with them. It would be a good idea. Quistis is out of room for new magics. I can get rid of the auras, the tier 2 spells. I'm not using them for anything. At this point, Rinoa is so physically strong that even triple casting magic almost isn't a good idea anymore. And now we see Odin's replacement, Gilgamesh. Now, Gilgamesh appears at the start of random fights, like Odin, but he doesn't one-shot enemies every time. What he does is random. It could be just major damage, could be one shot, could be low damage, almost no damage. But we see Cypher, as Renoa was walking away, Cypher was only playing dead. And he runs after Renoa. And he's taking her by force to the sorceress Adele. And Cypher has been driven into a corner. I think at this point, even he knows that he's being manipulated. That his wish just will never come to pass anymore. But he's gone too far. He can't turn back now. All he can do is go forward. Wherever that takes him. I'm hoping we go up here. I'm not actually sure. Alright. Instructions a little unclear, but we got there. And now we have to fight Adele, while Adele is holding Renoa captive. We have to be careful not to do any multi-target attacks. And occasionally, we have to cure Renoa. This may or may not be unfortunate. Yeah. Some of Squall's limit break finishers are multi-target, so it's really not safe to use that here. She's got a some real tunnel vision on Selphie right now. It's unfortunate. Now, if the fight goes on too long and you don't cure Renoa occasionally, Adele will actually drain her to death and kill her. And you lose. If she targets Selphie again... Okay. I just can't get Selphie back. Oh, never mind. with how powerful I am, Adele doesn't really stand a chance, unfortunately. But this is okay. This result, Renoa is safe, Adele is dead. Everything is part of the plan right now. We wanted Renoa to inherit Adele's powers, which it looks like she has, and now Alone is going to send her consciousness with Ultimacia back to the past in order to allow Ultimacia to achieve time compression. Now, the only way that we can defeat Ultimacia is to either defeat her in the future where she actually exists, or defeat her in this time compression state. Unfortunately, we can't go to the future, so we have to let her win, as this plan turns out. Achieve time compression, destroy the world, but defeat her and remake it. And when he was making up this plan, Laguna theorized that all of us would be able to hold our forms, exist in this time compression state, as long as our emotional connection to each other stuck around, held strong. Which doesn't really make sense, because if that were the case, anyone who was married and actually loved someone would also exist in the time compression state. But hey, this is a good game. Let's not make fun of it too much. Let's not poke holes where it doesn't need to be poked. That is a lot of save points. We're seeing time warp and distort. And our first fight of the end game is the time compressed sorceresses. We'll be fighting avatars of sorceresses throughout history. They'll have different abilities somewhat, but they're all pretty easy. And this is just a gauntlet fight. You just gotta kill and kill and kill until it ends. Now we get a little bit more powerful sorceresses. But they're just gonna keep coming. This sorceress. Okay. This looks like an actual monster now. Which may say something about how history views sorceresses. How they started out as beautiful creatures, but history started remembering them more horrifically. It looks like this thing is just going to counter everything we do. Shades of Bahamut now, or a more typical Bahamut fight where it counts down and then does something huge. I do want GF back on Squall. We can't go left to the flower field, so we just have to go forward. There is the final dungeon of the game, Ultimacia's Castle. Straight out of Castlevania. The next save point I find, I'm going to switch Renoa back into the party. Alright. Now this castle and the fights inside have a pretty annoying gimmick to it. Your abilities are locked, and you regain an ability every time you beat a boss. I think you start off only being able to attack. We have to scour this castle to regain our abilities before we go fight Ultimacia. This being the first fight, it's the easiest. We can only attack. So it's designed to be just a damage check. Hold the attack button and do everything you can. Bosses like these, and especially this castle in particular, is why I have always valued physical attacking in this game more than magical attacking. It feels like enemies gain a whole lot more magic defense than they do physical defense. Because Renoa has 255 magic, Squall has 255 attack, but Squall can just massively outdamage Renoa physical versus magical, even without ever doing limit breaks. It'd be nice if the game were a bit more balanced, and certainly at lower levels I had a lot more use for magic. Triple casting the tier 2s around like the garden invasion scenes. That was really good, and I started respecting magic. But now, at this point in the game, if you over-level, magic stops being useful. Oof. Straight out of PS1 menu. I like the draws. You also can't save until you unlock the ability to save. Now, I am using a guide to show me where all the bosses are, because this is an actual maze. And there are certain triggers you have to fulfill to make bosses spawn, and I certainly do not remember all of them. This boss is supposed to be... It's supposed to have elemental weaknesses, and whatever element it uses, you're supposed to use the opposite. Or something like that. But you can just physical attack it down. It's fine. But it might look like this is a counter ability, which I may have screwed up. Yeah. If I were smarter and I realized that it used counters, I would have done this a little differently. So I can't resurrect Squall right now. In order to resurrect Squall, the next thing I do, or the next boss I fight, I'll need to unlock the resurrection ability. I was hoping that was like Esthar and the green circles fully healed me, but they did not. So there's a puzzle here. I don't know what the puzzle is yet. In order to solve this puzzle, you need to make sure to interact with all the paintings around this gallery to learn their titles. Excuse me? The game may have frozen. Unfortunate. Well, it'll give me an opportunity to prevent Squall from dying. We're just going to triple speed. Well, Squall died again. Unfortunate. We still can't save until we fight another boss, so I'm really hoping this doesn't screw up again. He did it again. Well, I'll call this episode here, and I'll try to figure out what's going on. Hopefully I can find a fix. If not, we're going to have to skip that boss. Unfortunate. See you next time.